Hello, my name is Dr. Carlisle Bascom, and I'm a postdoctoral researcher at UC San Diego. I have a PhD in plant biology, so I was very excited to see a plant question from Mrs. Connolly's first grade class, Cohort A, at Holt Wyman Elementary School in Woburn, Mass. The question is, how does grass grow by sunlight? Well, this is actually a very big and complicated question, but I am glad that you asked it. First, let's think about how humans grow. We eat food, break that food down into energy, and then use that energy to grow. You may be surprised to hear this, but plants actually do the same thing. They break down sugar into energy just like we do, and use that energy to grow just like we do. The difference is, however, that plants can actually make their own sugar in their leaves. So, how do they do that? Another word for sugar that you may have heard of is carbohydrate. That means a molecule is made of carbon as well as OH groups or hydrates. As you may have learned, there is a lot of carbon in the air in the form of carbon dioxide or CO2. Plants are very special in that they can harness energy from the light and use that to actually grab a CO2 molecule out of the air and stick it onto a small carbohydrate or sugar. By doing this over and over and over again, plants can actually build many, many sugars. And then, just like humans do, they break that sugar down and use it to make all the things that they need to grow. So it's a lot more complicated than that, but I hope that gives you some idea of how grass is able to grow by sunlight.
Hi, my name is Ben. I'm a scientist and a graduate student at San Diego State. I study birds. And today I'm going to talk to you about how animals became tame. So how did animals become tame? It's surprisingly more complex than you would think and surprisingly simpler. So animals became tame or become tame because they see it as beneficial for them to be tame. What I mean by that is that animals see that they get something if they are more docile. They learn that it's an easier life to exist in a kind of beneficial give and take relationship than it is to be out in the rough wilderness, roughing it and getting your food. That's how wolves became dogs. They started living together with humans and just kind of coexisting in the same area before eventually realizing that it was a pretty good life to just kind of hang around and nap all day. Same thing happened with cats. And there's even been a lot of really cool and interesting evidence to support this. One of the most interesting ones being that a Russian scientist, way back before we understood DNA and genetics, got a bunch of foxes and he wanted to see if he could domesticate them. And so he fed them and took care of them and bred a bunch of them. And over the span of a couple generations of foxes, he saw that the foxes were more docile. They wanted to be pet more. They wanted to have this relationship. There is an evolutionary benefit for these animals to cozy up with us. And in turn, when we see those animals being tame and being cuddly towards us, we also want to reciprocate that even more. And there's even research that shows that in our heads, we think of animals that are tamer as cuter. And that means that we actually want to give them even more food and more treats. So when your dog is giving you a very cute face and begging for treats at the table, or when your cat is doing it, just know that there's an evolutionary reason for that, and we have bred them to be that way because we also enjoy how cute they are. I hope this has been helpful for you, and thanks so much for asking the scientist.